Welcome to Arlene's Renaissance, y'all. Come on in, come on in. Tag and share to a friend. Come on, come with me now. I know that he will. Show me what he'll do for you if you trust him at his word. I believe in my heart of hearts that he'll never leave or forsake me, no. And that's why I love him so. Hey, Cyber World, welcome again to Arlene's Renaissance, y'all. Come on in, tag and share to a friend, as they always say. Well, I'm just going to jump right in here. So much going on, Trump's Justice Department met with Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, and all of that pedophilia and child sex trafficking for 2 days, but never met with a single victim. And now regarding the list that didn't exist, that of course now does exist, that's been redacted to take Trump's name out of it. Now, surprise, surprise, Miss Maxwell doesn't recall seeing anything in there, Trump doing any wrongdoing at all. Wow, and now she's at a better prison. What? No such thing as witness tampering. Nah. And Trump's Texas gerrymandering would give Republicans nearly 80% of seats in a state where he got 56% of the vote. This is a direct result of John Roberts, a conservative SCOTUS majority, gutting Voting Rights Act and refusing to stop blatant partisan gerrymandering. Remember that bill that all the Democrats voted for and all the Republicans refused and voted no for? Yeah, that one. Anyway, Republican Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton issued arrest warrants to arrest state Democrats for obstructing the plan to steal their votes, to withdraw the state's congressional maps. President Donald Trump reportedly said the GOP will attempt to secure 5 new Republican seats in the U.S. House of Representatives through redistricting. Wow. We have to be crystal clear about what this is. And the White House and Donald Trump are trying to fix the 2026 election. In July of this year, before the election happens, they're trying to gerrymander state to a absurd degree to steal seats. He's mobilizing the FBI to arrest them and strong arm those districts out of them. Unbelievable. Hey, thanks for joining me this morning. Wow, one of which can combine an area. Now check this out. This is how desperate they are. They want to combine 2 areas that are literally over 300 miles apart. To make this fit, to force this. Wow. I don't have words. Anyway, Southern Elite Steppers here in the South. If you want to get your, matter of fact, I'm going to one of those little cowboy things tonight, and I don't have it all down. I mean, I broke my fan. Anyway, the Southern Elite Steppers, South, and Pamela Boss, Lady Roberts here on Facebook, and learn all those new steps if you like. They socialize and get some great exercise here in Hinesville. Now they're going to have 2 locations in South Georgia. One in Hinesville at 438 West Oglethorpe Highway in Brunswick, and Brunswick, Georgia. Yeah, so that's going to be nice. And everybody's on the move, y'all. Let's check it out. My girl and them getting on the move. Hey, Phil, thanks. I'm just talking about Pamela and them. They're now going to be in 2 locations with the Southern Elite Steppers. They've got the West Oglethorpe, Hinesville, and then they're also going to be in Brunswick, Georgia. So the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays. And they're recruiting members right now. They're now recruiting new members. So if you want to get in on this thing, and I'm telling you, this Steppers thing is getting big, y'all. The 2nd and 4th Tuesdays, from 6 to 8, they're going to be at Bryan Commons Park at 438 West Oglethorpe Highway. And then for the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays from 6 to 8, they'll be at JJ's Bar and Grill at 726 East Oglethorpe Highway. So come out, ride, step, shine, dominate the Sesway. If you want more information on it, dial 912-856-0929, or for bookings, dial 770-680-1189. Get your step in, y'all. And check out my girl Dana, the original P31, aka a rare jewel, y'all. Nova. She's wearing all that confidence. Did y'all see her wearing all that chocolate confidence all over the internet and being featured on In the Mix? It's a podcast show brought to you by Fateful Events, and it aired on August the 5th. So you probably missed it, but you can catch it. Go to their webpage. It aired August the 5th at 6 p.m. and the podcast is called In the Mix, and it's brought to you by Fateful Events. Check out your girl, Dana. All right, podcast show. Buddy T. Sturdivant out for my DMV folks up top. I always call him up top. If you want to get your praise on, check him out. Praise Breakthrough on Roku TV, Coyote TV, WTLS. Check out your boy T. Sturdivant with his DJ in training, DJ Pastor Cam. 202-820-7357. Check him out. Join us any night you want out on Friday or Wednesday night, folks. If you want to get your karaoke fire on with DJ Phoenix rocking the house, good food, good company, and some good food going on. Rack them up, y'all, with some great food. I'm trying to tell you, out there at 2411 Skidaway Road. Also, if you want to get your kind of mojito vibe on, join your girl Lex the Flex. She's going to be out at the Mojito Karaoke Flex every second Wednesday, 6 to 9, 12 West State Street here in Savannah. Hey, cuz, thanks for joining me. Hey, Phil, thanks for joining me. Also, karaoke night for a country western themed karaoke night at Riverview Health and Rehab. If you want to check out your girl there, Lexa Flex and the karaoke crew with DJ Boombox of the VFW Post 660. They'll be there Monday, August the 18th at 6:30. That's at 6711 La Roche Avenue in Savannah. Hey, cuz. Phil Scamato. Hey, Mr. Scamato. You want to check out our boy, Mr. Old School Kramer? He's at the Rock House Restaurant at 1518 Butler Avenue in Tybee Island. If you're out there at the beach, you know, you've had your beach on and you want to get something good to eat, you can stop in there and get something to eat, sing a few karaoke songs if you like. New Jerusalem, New Order, Greater Faith. That's my church here in Savannah. I had a wonderful time with them, as always. You can join us any Sunday here at 811 Wolf Street. If you don't join our church on Sunday, go join somebody's church on Sunday. Get some of that love. Feel the love. Yeah. Man, bring some with you because we could always use some. Oh, before I go further, paparazzi. I love this. I didn't wear the earrings that come with it, the spare earrings that made it look just like this, but I couldn't quite figure out where they are. I've got stuff everywhere in here, believe me or not. And so I decided to try these on because they're really kind of nice as well. They've got a little, it's like a silver kind of puce up there and, gray tassels. I thought they were really beautiful and they paired well with the jacket. Oh yeah, love you too, Phil. Yep, absolutely. Phil still has his drive online for his back surgery for donation. So you can also check that out. It's also on my page. So this is a ZJC piece. These were $5, but now they're $8. I'm pretty sure you can find a pair similar to this. I'm not sure about this piece anymore. And then I just added some little green in there because I just like that little pink and green. And somehow it just worked for me. You know, I like to fix it up because it picks up the makeup, colors and everything. So I thought that was nice. Anyway, pricings now are starting at $8 to $32 for the sets. Of course, my person is Zenobia Bailey here, ZJC. Also going to check out Avis McIvy, Leslie Cash Tibbs, aka Leslie's Jewelry Chest VIP group. Y'all check them all out. Texas Democrats were issued arrest warrants within a single business day for not showing up to work. Republicans took the month off because they didn't want to pressure a voting on the releasing of Epstein files, but no arrest warrants. This is where we are. Further, VA terminated most union contracts, affecting hundreds of thousands of employees. You know what that means? It basically does away with your unions. The Department of Veterans Affairs announced on August the 6th that it was immediately terminating most collective bargaining agreements with federal employee unions representing its workforce. That means they're not going to bargain with you anymore. There are no more unions. This action follows a March 2025 executive order from who? Concerning federal employee collective bargaining rights and a federal appellate court ruling. This impacts contracts with several unions, including the American Federation of Government Employees, and affects approximately 360,000 to over 400,000 VA employees. Exemptions apply to around 4,000 employees in roles like police officers and firefighters. Unions strongly firefighters and police officers have their own unions. Unions strongly condemned the VA's actions, calling it an attack on workers' rights. Wow. Opposing the recommendations to close facilities, advocating for VA health care, and opposing job cuts. Uh, Unions argue, and rightly so, the executive order is a pretext for silencing dissent. Wow. Terminating union contracts removes protections for workers related to wages, staffing ratios, workplace safety, and grievance procedures. Wow. Wow. Also, Legionnaire's disease. There are two people who died from it. At least 58 people have been sickened from it. Growing Legionnaire's disease cluster in New York City. It's actually Harlem area of New York City. Last week's wow. So people that live and work in the area, they're going to have like flu-like symptoms, cough, fever, chills, muscle aches, difficulty breathing. They got to contact the health. Well, hello, lady. I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, that's terrible, Linda. You know, it's terrible. He's canceling retirement benefits. You know, it's awful. You're putting people that are transgender out of the service. But if they've been in there for 17, 18 years, you're not giving them early buyouts of their retirement. They're losing all. It's awful, the stuff that they're doing. Meanwhile, just putting more and more money, more and more. I thought about this morning. I said, it must be a sickness. How much money do you need? Because it buys power. You cover yourself with your money. And so you now can do whatever you want. You can molest people and get away with it because you got enough money, power. You can do whatever you want. Is that why you want more and more money? Because how much is enough at some point? So now you're just buying power and people and countries and wow. Wow. But anyway, healthcare, immediately the department said a statement on Monday. It is especially important for people at higher risk, of course, seniors and things like that. Legionnaire's disease is like a type of pneumonia. It's caused by bacteria Legionella. Grows in warm, usually water, places like that. It can be like in the spores, water, vapor, stuff like that. Anything that close and has the bacteria in it. Yeah. Yeah, but it's terrible. It should have nothing to do with in the military. And it's terrible because, first you say we're at don't ask, don't tell. Then we're like, okay, full disclosure. And then now we're like, okay, we're going to penalize you for full disclosure. And we're going to it's like, I can imagine, what, it's like being on a roller coaster ride or something. It's insane. Legionnaires can be caused by public systems, growth spores, hot tubs, humidifiers, whirlpool spas, cooling towers, things like that. The respiratory disease takes its name from an outbreak at the Pennsylvania American Legion Convention held at the Bellevue Stratford Hotel in Philadelphia in 1976. The bacterium believed to be responsible is found in soil and grows in water such as air conditioning ducts. The disease was first identified following a severe outbreak of pneumonia at an American Legion convention. The outbreak sickened hundreds and resulted in 34 deaths, led to the discovery of a previously unknown bacterium, Legionella pneumophilia. So, and then of course they named it that because of the Legionnaires, the American Legion. Wow. Also, did you know that they force you to retire? Wow, that is awful. I just think that is the worst thing. It's just you know I don't have words for it. I There are no words for it. Um, Words can't describe how I feel these days. It just, well, hello, bestie. How you doing, girl? Yes, they're covering themselves with money. Like that's going to, like, now I can do all the evil I want. I can be a pedophile and just cover myself with money. I got enough money to silence the people that would talk. I got enough money that the people that could do anything to me, I can have them destroyed. I thought to myself, are you insane? That's like a sort of insanity, isn't it? But these are the people that claim to believe in God. That they're doing all this because they're godly. And you're like, well, where's the God in this? Are you not afraid of him? Do you not fear him? Or do you think that you believe your own press that everything you do is okay? It's all right because it's you. It's I don't know. Wow. Anyway, did you know the first U.S. paramedics were black? The United States were black men, specifically a group of 20 to 24 black men from the Hill District of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They were recruited to form the Freedom House Ambulance Service in 1967. This pioneering team developed and implemented the first advanced life support ambulance service in the U.S., setting a new standard for pre-hospital emergency care. It revolutionized emergency medicine. It was groundbreaking effort that transformed everything. Medical response time. They were the first to train personnel to provide advanced medical care, CPR, and other life-saving techniques. Wow. In the back of an ambulance. They overcame many obstacles. Of course, you know they were black. Yeah, I know they think they're gods. It's
powering on.
There are no words for it. I don't have words for
Powering
it
on.
because
Ready to pair.
you know.
Paired.
Wow, I don't. Wow. Anyway, the service was established in a predominantly black, underserved community where access to quality emergency care, medical care, was severely lacking. Of course, we didn't get anything back then. They faced systemic racism and resistance from the city's established medical system. So, what did we do? Well, we always do as black people. We improvise. And so, the Success Freedom House led to the adoption of their training methods. So that's what they did. They decided, well, we're going to do this because of that. We're going to establish something of our own. Their contributions, of course, were overlooked for decades. What? Surprise. What? Say it ain't so. They overlooked their contributions. Freedom House's story was recently brought to light, highlighting their pioneering role in emergency medicine and the impact of their work. Wow. I just thought that was amazing. You know, of course, they had the reason why they did it because the black people didn't get any medical care. And so, you know, they were the connection to the people to get them. Of course, they couldn't go to all types of hospitals and they weren't accepted for this and for that. So, wow. Kudos to you guys. That's amazing. Of course, they, you know, now they're being given the recognition. And I couldn't help but think that, you know, here we are in 2025, and the prosecutor in the Breonna Taylor current day black EMT case wanted to give the cop who illegally broke into her house and shot her wanted to give him a 1-day jail sentence. Wow. All I can think about is the line in Color Purple. The more things change, the more things stay the same. Yeah, that part. Yeah, right. And did you guys see the teen who was brutally assaulted outside the Simi Valley movie theater? They, you know, say it was racially motivated, and, you know, they call him a bunch of racial slurs. And I saw the teens chasing him down. It's a group of about, I don't know, 5 white teenagers, and they're chasing this. Yeah, they do, Linda. They're chasing this one black kid, but I think he was with some other friends, but somehow got separated from them. They were all being beaten on and chased or something. Anyway, he said he was violently assaulted, and, you know, it was pretty awful. It was pretty hard to watch. And, you know, one of the teens that attacked him was was a police officer's son. And so, and it's not that they weren't charged, they were charged, but they said it should have been a hate crime. Because they chased him down, beat him while yelling racial slurs at him, indicating that it was racially motivated. So they tried to say that it was something from school and just teenagers, you know, kind of brawling. And I looked at it, I'm like, that's not teenagers brawling. That was a bunch of teenagers beating up on one teenager. So anyway, they're gonna keep watching that because they want that added, that enhancement added. He tried running away and they followed him, you know, and the part that got me was, you know, they were hurling profanities at him. He asked the mall security guard to help. The mall security guard refused to intervene. I am assuming he no longer has a job. And if he does have a job, why? I wouldn't feel secure in that mall. I wouldn't take any more dollars of mine there. I wouldn't feel secure at all. Wow. He said they still caught me, and when they caught me, they decided they were going to put my head in a trash can and proceeded to hit me in the back of my head. Wow. He had a concussion, abrasions, cuts, bruises, chipped tooth, spinal injury. Wow. Anyway, they were arrested, four of them. Um, and of course, the one whose father is a cop he will be excluded from any investigation into the incident. Wow, it was wow, it was kind of mind blowing when I saw the video. I thought, wow, it clearly is a hate crime. Now this is kind of funny. Tell me what you think. Yeah, they should fire that guy immediately. The other day, now this is funny. The other day, I belong to one of those groups on Facebook that say, "Is this your man?" No, that said, "Do you all have any dirt on this man? I want to date him. We've been talking. He said he's single, blah, 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 blah." And so you post him on there and people post if they know anything. Well, hey, Michael, good to see you. They post whether he's married. And you should see they get bust out all the time. No, girl, he got a wife and 3 kids. He da, da, da. They get bust out all the time. Thank you. And so I always look on it because, you always feel bad, but then when you look on it, you be like, I am so glad I'm single because these married men, girl. But anyway, one of the ladies put a guy on there and she was asking questions. Did anybody have any information on this guy? And when I looked at him, I said, "Oh, girl, he is fine. I mean, fine to me, right? He was a medium build guy, had a little girth on him, guns was still kind of nice. He had a little beard. It was a little scraggly, but he could have had it shaped up or something. No big deal, nice chocolate color. And so when I opened it up, I said, well, let me go see what the 411 is on him. I said, because I know he got a whole bunch of stuff in here. As soon as I opened it, all the comments are like, ugh, who would want it? Ugh, girl, you ain't got to worry about that. I was like, oh my God. Once again, I think someone not only looks good, but is fine, who everyone else apparently thought was ugly. Oh my God, it was nothing wrong with that man. He was just a regular looking Joe, he could have shaped his beard up a little bit, but that was it. Come on, ladies. But anyway, so I stopped for a moment and said, what is that saying about me? What when the people that you find attractive, other people find, I don't know what that's saying about me. It was kind of disturbing, but anyway. Hey, Michael, I'm glad you loved it. I'm glad you loved it. I hope you had a good time at the gym. This I found most fascinating because I thought, if I were you Latino people, I would take a page from his playbook. And remember this when this all gets straightened out and they want you to come back and to work in those fields and things. This is called Letter from a Freedman. Right, Regina, I'm like, what is wrong with me? What is that saying about me? When the people I like that other people think are ugly. I was like, well, I think I look okay. Maybe I'm not exactly attractive either. I was like, what's going on? I'm like, I thought that guy was fine. Wow. Anyway, this is Letter from a Freedman. What happened was the slave got freed. He was freed. And the person that he was freed from, excuse me, the plantation was failing. It was failing. He was losing all this money. All the slaves were gone. And he actually had the caucasity. And I mean the caucasity. Hey, Miss Danders, thanks for joining me. To send a letter and ask his former slave, would he come back and be his slave because his farm is failing and they're going to go bankrupt. And so the former slave, he's living in freedom now because they were freed. And so he was one of the ones that got away. So In response, he dictated a letter to someone and they posted it in the newspaper. And I kid you not, this is the first example of shade going viral. It is the most hilarious thing in the world. So I'm going to read the whole letter. It's hilarious. It was addressed to his former master, who was Colonel P.H. Anderson. The slave's name was Jordan Anderson. He was now a free man. His former slave owner, Master Colonel Anderson, was in response to his request. Anderson returned to Colonel's plantation to help restore the farm after the disarray of the war. It has been described as a rare example of documented slave humor. So I'm going to go down to the letter, give you a little bit of background about him. Anderson was born in 1825, and by the age of 7 or 8, he was sold as a slave. He went on and worked in different places. Then he was sold to General Paulding Anderson. He had some sisters who did not leave with him, by the way, when he left and gained his freedom, and he's never heard from them or seen them again. So what happened was in 1864, when the Union Army soldiers were camped on Anderson's plantation, they freed Jordan. They freed him. And that's, when his freedom began, he began to work in different places, etc. So in July of 1865, after the end of the Civil War, Colonel Anderson wrote a letter from Big Spring, Tennessee to his former new freed slave, asking him to come back. And harvest season was approaching with nobody to bring in the crops. There's nobody to bring in the fruit, to pick the fruit. We locked up all the Latinos. What are we going to do? Season was approaching with nobody bringing the crops. The colonel was making a last-ditch effort to save the farm, humbling himself and all. Come back and be my slave. Come back. You Latinos better take a page from this playbook. So on August 7th, from his home in Jordan, this is when he pens his letter. And this is the letter. Sir, I got your letter and was glad to find that you had not forgotten Jordan and that you wanted me to come back and live with you again, promising to do better for me than anybody else can. I have often felt uneasy about you. I thought the Yankees would have hung you long before this for harboring rebs they found at your house. I suppose they never heard about your going to Colonel Martin's to kill the Union soldier that was left by his company in their stable. And they printed this in the paper. Although you shot at me twice before I left you, I did not want to hear of your being hurt. And I'm glad you're still living. It would do me good to be back to the dear old home again. And see Miss Mary and Miss Martha and Alan, Esther Green and Lee. Give my love to them all. And tell them, I hope we'll meet in the better world, if not in this. I would have gone back to see y'all when I was working in the Nashville hospital, but one of the neighbors told me that Henry intended to shoot me if he ever got a chance. I want to know particularly what the good chance is you propose to give me. Let's get down to business. I'm doing tolerably well here. I get $25 a month with victuals and clothing. I have a comfortable home for Mandy. The folks call her Mrs. Anderson. And the children, Millie, Jane, and Grundy, they go to school and learning well. The teacher says Grundy has a head for a preacher. They go to Sunday school, and Mandy and me attend church regularly. We're kindly treated. Sometimes we overhear others saying them colored people were slaves down in Tennessee. The children feel hurt when they hear such remarks, but I tell them it was no disgrace in Tennessee to belong to Colonel Anderson. Many doctors would have been proud, as I used to be called, to call you master. Now, if you will write and say what wages you will give me, I'll be better able to decide, whether it would be to my advantage to move back again. Hey, Mr. Crow, thanks for joining me. I'm ready. I'm reading a letter from a former slave to his former master. He's freed. And as to my freedom, which you say I can have, there's nothing to be gained on that score. As I got my free papers in 1864 from the Provost Marshal General of the Department of Nashville. Mandy says she would be afraid to go back without some proof that you were disposed to treat us justly and kindly. And we have concluded to test your sincerity by asking you to send us our wages for the time we served you, This will make us forget and forgive old scores, those reparations, yes. Old scores, and rely on your justice and friendship in the future. Yeah, put your money where your mouth is. Anyway, I served you faithfully for 30 years and Mandy 20 years at $25 a month for me and $2 a week for Mandy, pay equity, well, whatever. Our earnings would amount to $11,680. Add to this interest for the time our wages have been kept back, and deduct what you paid for our clothing. Hey Daryl, thanks for joining me. And 3 doctor's visits to me, that's all they had, and pulling 1 tooth for Mandy, and the balance to show what we are in justice entitled to. Please send the money by Adams Express in care of B. Winters, Esquire. Dayton, Ohio. If you fail to pay us for faithful labors in the past, we can have little faith in your promises in the future. We trust the good Maker has opened your eyes to the wrongs which you and your fathers have done to me and my fathers in making us toil for you for generations without recompense. Here I draw my wages every Saturday night, but in Tennessee, there was never any payday for the Negroes, any more than for the horses and cows. Surely there will be a day of reckoning for those who defraud the laborer of his hire. In answering this letter, please state if there would be any safety for my Millie. I almost died and gagged when our current president called somebody else's race of people rapists and murderers. I was like, rapists? Rapists? Anyway, in answering this letter, please state if there would be any safety for my Millie and Jane, who are now grown and both good-looking girls, because you couldn't be a good-looking black woman. You know how it was with poor Matilda and Catherine. I would rather stay here and starve and die, if it come to that, than have my girls brought to shame by the violence and wickedness of their young masters. You will also please state if there has been any schools open for the colored children in your neighborhood. And the great desire of my life now is to give my children an education and have them form virtuous habits. Say howdy to George Carter and thank him for taking the pistol from you when you was shooting at me. From your old servant. Oh my God! Oh, first of all, it went viral. All the other papers picked it up. Wow. And Colonel Anderson, having failed to attract his former slaves back, sold the land for a pittance to try to get out of debt. 2 years later, he was dead at the age of 44. In the late 20th century, reparations activist Raymond Wimbush located and interviewed this is in the 20th century now, located and interviewed descendants of Colonel Anderson in preparation for his 2003 book, Should America Pay? And I said, pay who? Because the slave owners, the masters got reparations, not the slaves. They paid them for the slaves that they lost. They didn't pay the slaves for the years of labor that they didn't get paid for. But anyway, but he reported that these descendants were still, in 2003, they were still angry at Jordan for not coming back. The caucasity for me for not coming back. And they say that he should have been faithful and come back to the plantation. You were treated good here. And help out, because he knew that the plantation was in such disrepair, and they blamed him for the man's death. That is That is the quintessential caucasity to me. I was like, and I just want to say to the Latino community, when the fruit is rotting on the ground, don't you dare go back out there and pick that. You better send a letter. Take a page from our playbook. Believe me. Wow. And this is before I get out of here, I just got two things and then I'm out of here. Yes. Leviticus 19:33 and 37. I know it's sickening, isn't it? And this is what I thought about, because, they're always touting the Bible, that there's such the moral majority and Christian national. There's more nationalist than Christian, because these are unchristian, habits and things they're doing. Anyway, Leviticus, and I know that this is Old Testament, but none of this changes for the New Testament, by the way. But they want all the other scriptures from the Old Testament to apply, not the New Testament ones for women. That this person that's actually in office thinks we shouldn't be able to vote. He thinks they should repeal the vote for women. And you ignorant women voted for this? Wow. Anyway, when a foreigner resides, this is Leviticus 19:33 through 37. Just a gentle reminder to America. When a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. Let me say that again. When a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt. And I thought that is so apropos for America. All of you foreigners that came over here on this boat and that boat, how dare you? How dare you? You yourself were foreigners on this land. Wow. And he says, love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Do not use dishonest standards when measuring length, weight, and quantity. Or I said, do not use dishonest standards in measuring length, weight, and quantity, certainly not in gerrymandering. Not dishonest scales and length over 300 miles away when slicing up someone's vote in gerrymandering. Anyway, use honest scales and honest weights. America, the beautiful, the proud land of the brave, land of the liars, land of the hypocrites, land of the most ungodly, pedophiles and everything else. Talking about you the moral majority for who? What? Anyway, do not use those dishonest standards. Use honest scales, honest weights, and an honest ephah, and an honest hin. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt. I guess they forgot all about that one when they was picking and choosing which ones they was going to use. Because, that's how it goes. Certainly not keep all my decrees and all. I just be like, just do whatever you want. Just do whatever you want. It don't matter. Just do anything, say anything. Cover yourself with your money. You'll be able to get away with it. Cover yourself with that money. You'll be able to get away with it. No, you won't. No, you won't. And this one I thought was really weird. And for this dating era, we're dating in the dumpster fire era. There's more singles now than ever. Love is rare because because self-love is facing extinction and people have little to offer each other. People are too entitled and have unrealistic expectations due to social media. There are too many distractions and too many options due to dating apps. People are looking for what they can get instead of what they can give. It's all ego and no soul. Relationships have become all about transactions and little to do with connections. I'm a connections kind of girl. Until next time, y'all, Audience Renaissance. Y'all stay blessed. I'm out of here.